Thank you. I am now joined by Dr. Michael Ryan. He's the chairperson of pediatrics and the chairperson of the Children's Miracle Network. So Dr. Ryan, can you just kind of give us a little bit of an overview of what you do here at Geisinger Janet Weiss Children's Hospital?
Well, Janet Weiss Children's Hospital is the pediatric facility for northeastern central Pennsylvania. And so children are admitted here every day who need to be cared for in a tertiary care pediatric facility. So we have a pediatric critical care unit, we have a neonatal intensive care unit, we also have floors, our inpatient unit for children who need to be in the hospital but aren't sick enough to be in intensive care. They would go to our inpatient floors, someone who might be having surgery or something like that.
And just looking at the building from the outside, it looks like a pretty big operation. How many kids do you have that come through your doors?
Well, thousands come through every year. Inpatient admissions are somewhere between 4,000 and 5,000 every year. And we have 89 beds in the hospital. We're actually adding 2 beds now to our critical care unit, so we'll go up to 91 beds by this time next year. But most of the time the beds are pretty full and the place is pretty full.
And how long have you been here?
I've been here for 36 years now, yeah. I came here out of my fellowship July 1st, 1980, and I've never left. I've been here ever since then. So
that's wonderful. So in your experience, what makes this hospital so special?
I think one of the things that makes Geisinger so special and makes our children's hospital so special is the group practice. You know, no one's in private practice. Everybody works for Geisinger and everybody works together. And so you tend to get along with your colleagues, you tend to work with your colleagues to get patients better. I was in here on a Friday night 2 months ago, and we had a very sick child. And this is a Friday night, and I looked around, and we actually had 8 pediatricians, all in different specialties, right there collaborating on taking care of that child. And that's an unusual situation in any hospital in the country. You know, that you can get and it was infectious diseases, and it was neurology, and it was nephrology, and rheumatology. I mean, we had all the specialists there, putting our heads together, trying to figure out what was wrong with that child, and we ultimately helped save her life.
So how does Children's Miracle Network help that teamwork, that atmosphere that you have here?
Well, Children's Miracle Network adds the extras. You know, we get money from insurance companies and the government, you know, to help pay for nurses and physician salaries and to buy the beds and the things like that. But if we want to do extra, if we want to do extra artwork, if we want to have child life therapy that comes in there, if we want to help sponsor camps for kids, if we want to do reach out and read programs as part of our general pediatric offices. I mean, Children's Miracle Network allows us to get the extra things, you know, that we couldn't necessarily afford through just routine insurance replacement things. It also helps us to get things that we really want and we really need, but would have to wait longer to do it if we went through the normal capital process. Like last year, we bought an ambulance, and it was a huge ambulance, and it helps us transport children who, you know, couldn't come by Life Flight because of the weather or something like that. And so we're able to send out a team. And this ambulance is practically as big as an operating room, and so you can do a lot in that small area and take care of these kids. And so it was an extra amount of money. We also, a few years ago, helped pay for a neonatal intensive care unit at Geisinger, Wyoming Valley. Normally, this would go through the capital process and take a while. We didn't want to wait. We wanted to make sure we had it in time to take care of the kids that we needed. We worked with other groups such as the auxiliary and some private donors to help make that happen and put the whole fund together. So that's where we use it for.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
A lot of different projects.
A lot of different projects. This year, for instance, we had requests for almost 3 times as much as we were allocating. It was the most requests we've ever had. Now, we've been doing this telethon since 1984, and you think by now, you know, we'd have everything we need. But there's always some new thing, there's always some new gadget, there's always some latest piece of equipment, there's always more we want to do with child life or things like that. And so we had literally 3 times the amount of requests that we could afford this year. So it was kind of encouraging to see that people are still interested and still doing this after 32 years. But it was also disheartening in that we couldn't fund everything that we needed to fund. But we'll figure out how to get some of those things funded, even if it's not through Children's Miracle Network. But certainly, our viewers and our supporters have been great inspiration to us over the years.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for sharing with
Sure,
us, and
sure.
hopefully we can raise money for you guys this weekend and get some of those new things in the hospital.
I'm sure you will. We love our people out in the Western region, and they do a fantastic job supporting us every year. That's another thing. I mean, we have an outreach clinic in Altoona, and we do up to 8 outreaches a month in Altoona. So, you don't have to travel to Danville to see the endocrinologist or the neurologist or the gastroenterologist. We're showing up in your backyard to help take care of you. We always believe that the closer we are to the patient, the more valuable we are to that patient. And so being able to come out there and do outreach and not have families have to take a day off from work or school to come in here and see us. It's better to have a pediatrician travel 2 hours and see 20 patients than to have 20 patients travel 2 hours to get here.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. We'll
Sure.
send it back to Del
Sure.
Grosso's now.